What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. You all know what the Rockstar sunglasses means. It's been a long time coming. Q&A video number 3. It's been 3 months since I've done a Q&A video. Let's see if I still remember how to do this. Get the Q&A fingers going. All good. We got 5 more questions here that were asked months ago, and I'm sure the people that asked them have probably forgotten that they asked them, so it'll be a surprise for everybody. Question 1. This was submitted by Zach McCoy via Facebook. Simply asking, spit or swallow? And I'm of 2 schools of thought on this one. You know that nasty, that gross, like aftertaste when you've chewed on a piece of gum for a long time? In situations like that, man, I'm a spitter all day. But when it comes right down to it, look at me, man. Look at the size of me. Clearly, there's very little that I will not swallow. Zach, thanks for your question. Question number 2 was asked by Corey McDonald via Facebook. Do you think that AI, artificial intelligence, for those of us that don't watch The Big Bang Theory, will evolve to a point where we'll have sentient androids a la Blade Runner, human/robotic hybrids like in Ghost in the Shell, or something completely different? This is one I actually had to think about for a little while. But I naturally just assume that everything that has ever happened in any episode of Star Trek is what is eventually going to happen to the human race. So I think that someday, basically, we'll all be Borg. But, you know, first, we'll live in a post-capitalist paradise for a couple of centuries and laugh at ourselves for not doing so sooner. So to answer your question, Corey, eventually, we're all going to be Borg. Thanks for your question. Question number 3 was asked by Justin Swindells via Facebook. Do you believe overall, taking into account both the history and current state of all effects involved, extreme and otherwise, Christianity has played a positive or negative role on the human race? This is actually a really tough question, and this is one that I think I'm actually going to have to get a little super serious on. On the one hand, more people have been killed in the name of God than for any other reason in history. But on the other hand, religion serves a very important purpose for a lot of people. It gives people hope. It gives people comfort. It gives them something to believe in. I think where the water gets muddied a little bit is in these people that then take that's something to believe in, and attempt to prescribe it and impose it on other people. I tend to agree with Kevin Smith when he said in Dogma that it was a bad idea to take a good idea and build a belief system around it. So the only way to answer the question really is, I think it's a positive thing for those people that take pride in their religion, but as George Carlin said, keep thy religion to thyself, and use it for those reasons. Religion and spirituality, in my mind, was always intended to be a very personal thing. Where it gets negative is in those people that are not satisfied with religion as a personal thing, delving instead into an assimilative mindset. Borg. See, Corey's question, it's all coming around. The Borg are coming. But again, Justin, to answer your question, I think it's a positive thing for those people that use their religion as a personal thing, but don't try to prescribe it to other people. Thank you very much, Justin, for your question. Question 4 was submitted by Janice Lane via Facebook. What does it take for the quote-unquote average person to be happy? And there's a lot of easy answers to this question. There's beauty, sex, money, fame, respect. But I like to think in even simpler terms than that. Considering myself to be a fairly average person in most ways, what it takes for me to be happy is simply feeling like I have purpose. Feeling that I am a good person in my own definition of being a good person, because that's another thing that I think is very personal and relative, and that I have something to live for. I'm happy knowing that I live for my friends and my family, and for opportunities that still lie ahead of me, some of which I can't even see yet. I'm happy knowing that I can lay my head down at night being comfortable in my own skin and being comfortable with who I am as a person. That I'm not a slave to some of the destructive elements that are in the world. There's a lot of scary vices out there, things that people can get mixed up in and never recover who they really are. And ultimately realizing that at the end of the day, I was dealt a pretty solid hand in life, and that I've done a lot with it. So I guess if I had to put it in one word, I'd have to say perspective. The key to happiness is perspective. Of course, that's also a key to pain, anxiety, fear, and what some could call too much knowledge. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, I guess, but that's what I'm going to have to go with. But Janice, thank you very much for your question, and thank you for coming to my friend's wedding last weekend. And the fifth and final question on this Q&A video. This was asked by Brady Crowell, and this was in person while we were walking down Davison Drive. Brady asked me if myself, him, and his sister Brittany were a trio, whatever form that would take, what would we call ourselves? And yes, that's a legitimate question, and that's actually part of the reason why this Q&A video took so long to come out. I've literally been thinking about this question for 3 months. I've gone back and forth on this so many times. I really have. I've come up with no fewer than 50 different options, but I narrowed it down to the top 3. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to leave it up to the viewers of this video and leave it up to Brady and Brittany themselves to decide which of these 3 they would rather us have. So you can feel free in the comment section of this video, vote for which of these 3 names you would rather see us have in our trio, whatever our trio would do. Maybe we're just a trio of people that we just live. We just do what we do. We don't do anything special. We just do what we do. Who knows? Option number 1, the Crowell Connection featuring Justin. It's catchy and it's an indirect Simpsons reference. Option number 2, the Grizzly, the Cougar, and the Cub, and that's probably only going to be funny to me and Brittany because we kind of understand where it comes from. What's great about this is it's self-deprecating to all 3 of us, so no one needs to feel left out. Or option number 3, the walking, talking scale of descending talent, where Brady is clearly at the top because, to be perfectly honest, I've never met somebody that can be a master of something after trying it maybe twice. And I've literally seen it happen in front of my eyes with Brady. So Brady's one of the most talented dudes I've ever met. Brittany's sandwiched somewhere in the middle. You know, according to the boys at the Legion, she does have certain talents. So that would put her somewhere in the middle. And since everyone that's watching this video is very familiar with my work on YouTube and beyond, it goes without saying that I am firmly at the bottom of that talent scale. So those are your 3 options. You have the Crowell Connection featuring Justin, you have the Grizzly, the Cougar, and the Cub, and the walking, talking scale of descending talent. So those are your 3 options. Vote on those 3 options in the comments section on this Q&A video. Brady, thank you very much for your question. Also, screw you for asking a question that took me 3 months to come up with an answer to. But mostly, thank you for the question. There's Q&A video number 3. Ideally, won't have to wait quite so long to do the next one. However, I'm very quickly running out of questions. So if you have a question that you want to ask Bridgewater's Finest, put it in the comments section below on this video. Hit me up on my Twitter, blockbuster_guy. Send me your questions. I've said multiple times, there is no question that I will not answer. So bring them on. See if you can stump me worse than Brady did. That's it. Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter, Q&A video number 3. Have a great day.